Here in Africa, the effects of the climate crisis have never been more apparent, and the farming sector is inevitably hardest hit. In Ethiopia, for instance, the farmers plant what are supposed to be high-yield crops every year, but the land is so parched that they have barely anything to harvest. Traditional indigenous seeds are too expensive or hard to come by for small-scale farmers. At the Leibniz Institute in Germany, Ethiopian researchers are learning how to boost biodiversity, revive and conserve local seed varieties that can withstand the drought and other environmental threats.
This way, and we will have a look for the tomatoes.
Biologist Ulrike Lohwasser is showing 3 visitors around the fields of the Leibniz Institute of Plant Genetics and Crop Plant Research in central Germany. The 3 work at the seed bank of the Ethiopian Biodiversity Institute in Addis Ababa, the largest of its kind in Africa. They want to find out what their colleagues in Germany are doing to improve the quality of crop seeds. It's one thing to preserve samples from old varieties, quite another to grow new plants from them. Samples have to be dried and prepared in such a way that they'll keep for a long period of time. And tests have to be conducted to see if they're able to germinate. Jerusalem Arusimoka likes the hands-on part of the process. Here she's learning things she hopes to implement back home. She's manager of the seed bank in Addis Ababa.
We don't know what tomorrow can bring, so we always want to save our biodiversity. That's where life is, and it's the way we support a life, a food, shelter, medicine. It's all what's a base for our living. So it's a question of living, nothing else. So having and conserving is supporting life.
Ulrike Lohwasser shows her guests the treasure trove at the heart of the institute, the seed bank, with over 150,000 samples from crop plants from around the world, gathered over a period of several decades. Lohwasser has been collaborating with her colleagues in Addis Ababa for 9 years now. The diversity of species is astounding. For example, there are more than 9,000 varieties of bean in the collection alone. The seed bank here in Gattersleben is one of the largest in the world. Many specimens come from old strains that are no longer cultivated on working farms, but that could nonetheless prove very useful.
Old varieties have lower yields, but they can cope better with changing climatic conditions. They're more robust in times of drought. Lack of water often turns soil acidic or leads to a buildup of minerals and heavy metals. These varieties can withstand all of that better than more fragile, modern seeds.
Lohwasser has got to know the problems farmers face in Ethiopia firsthand. Using traditional methods to farm their small fields, most can barely feed their families, let alone create a surplus for sale. They tend to plant the same crops year in, year out, which leads to soil degradation and ever lower yields. New varieties are needed. The institute in Addis Ababa also has fields where new strains are tested. Strains developed there with the help of a German seed company. Back at the Leibniz Institute in Germany, this wheat was grown from seeds collected in the 1950s. The variety actually originated in Ethiopia, but has died out there. Samples have since been sent back to the seed bank in Addis Ababa, along with seeds of other crops once endemic to Ethiopia, certain strains of wheat and mustard, more than 7,000 in all. Now they're back home and available for research and possibly cultivation.
We want is to apply or to use our materials for sustainable utilization and for development. So most of our seed requesters are researchers from different research institutes in the country and students who are studying for their PhD.
The visitors from Ethiopia want to expand the testing of old varieties at their own institute to establish which ones could withstand stress factors such as dryness or acidic soil. An important step to boost sustainable farming in Ethiopia.
Not important, but that's what important is. We get seeds.